Hey guys, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to apply false lashes. And I do makeup professionally and I get this question all the time. It is like the first thing people ask me when they ask me about makeup, or they're like, oh, your makeup looks nice, but I wish I knew how to put on those lashes. Everybody says that. It's like their first line. I feel like it's kind of like their way of like trying to tell you like, damn, you really have a lot of makeup on, huh? I wish I knew how to put on those lashes. Like, I feel like low-key, like that's what they're trying to say. If you guys do makeup, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because people say it all the time and it's the first thing that they say and they bring up. Even on my Instagram, I get questions. I wish I knew how to apply those. What's the best way to apply those? How do I do it? What do I use? Today, that is what we're going to talk about. So the first thing that I want to tell you about applying lashes is to make sure your lashes are curled. Naturally, I have very curly lashes, so I don't really ever need to curl my lashes because my lashes are already curled and I don't need to do it. But most people do need to curl their lashes, so make sure you curl your lashes before you put any false lash on, because you want your false lash to blend with your real lash. Because if you have really straight lashes, your lashes will be hanging down like this, and then you'll have a lash on top of it going like this. So you don't want your lashes going two different ways, because that's just not going to look nice. So the first thing that you want to do is curl your lashes, and you will need an eyelash curler for that. And I know not everybody wears makeup, but I do know that everybody probably most likely does have a lash curler at home. So use that first. That is the first step. And then secondly, you want to make sure that your lashes fit your eyeballs. So we all have different eye shapes and eye sizes. Some of us have smaller eyes, some of us have longer eyes. A lot of lashes come very long just to accommodate everybody, because you can't always cut them. If you have a small eye, make sure you just take your lash and sit it right on top of your eye, and it does not need any glue. This is just to kind of like measure and gauge if the lash will fit you, because if the lash does not fit you and it's too long, it will be poking your inner corners, and if it's not poking your inner corners, it will be hanging off the edge of your eye, which will give you the illusion of puppy eyes, which are like downward eyes, and it makes your eyes just look like they're hanging and more heavy on the outer edges, which you don't want. You kind of want to wear lashes so that way your eyes look lifted. So you always want to make sure that you measure the lash to make sure it fits your size. Now this lash that I'm using here, just for representation, does fit me. I already cut this lash. So usually, I know everybody does it differently, but me personally, I cut from the inner corner of the lash. A lot of people I know like to do the end, because sometimes if you cut too much on the inner corner, it does mess up the lash. So it's kind of up to you. Personally, I feel like either way, no matter what way you cut it, it's kind of gonna look a little funny even if you do cut it from the end. So like I said, you kind of just want to see like how much you need to take off when you lay it on your eyes, and you'll be like, all right, I need to take off this much or this much, whatever it is. So after you make sure that your lash is cut and that it fits you, then you are going to want to go ahead and actually apply the lash. So you're going to need eyelash glue to apply lashes, and this is also a part that gets very tricky for a lot of people. So what I do is I use a tweezer to do this. This is not always very safe, especially if you're clumsy or you have somebody around you that's like acting crazy and might hit you and it might poke you in the eye. So I would not recommend using this at home, but I use it. So this is what I do, and this is the way I do it. So I take my lash with the tweezer, and I take my eyelash glue, and I squeeze some glue out, and I very lightly apply glue onto the lash. I do not pour it all out and then have it dripping down the lash. You never need that much glue, ever. So you just need like a very small, decent, modest amount of glue on your lash, and you apply it just like this with like a nice perfect amount of glue. And you want to wait for your lash to get a little bit tacky. So you don't want to put the glue on and then put it directly on your eye, because the glue is still going to be wet. So the lash is going to be moving around on your eye. It's going to be going up here. It's going to be going over here. It's going to be going over here. So you want to make sure you wait just a couple seconds for the glue to get tacky. And if you cannot tell when the glue is tacky, you could simply just touch the glue. And if it's a little bit tacky and it gets on your finger, you go like this and it's a little bit sticky, then you could apply the glue. But like I said, you want to give it a couple seconds, not till it's completely dry, but you want to give it 20, 30, maybe 40 seconds just to get a little bit tacky. and then you apply to your eyeball. Now when you're applying, you want to take a mirror and hold it below you. So you want to be looking down into the mirror. And then as you're looking down into the mirror, you could place your lash right on top of your real lashes. Now this way you're never going to place them too high on your eyelid, because you're looking down into the mirror and you can see exactly where your real lashes are and how close you could get it to your real lashes, because that's also a really important part of applying lashes. You want to make sure that they blend together and you don't have a space between the fake lash and your real lashes. So what I do is sometimes I'll take my fingers and I will squeeze them together. Now I use tweezers, so usually I will use my tweezer, but like I said, I've been wearing false lashes since I'm like 17 years old. So this, I could do with a tweezer without killing myself. So just be careful, like I said, if you don't typically use tweezers. If you don't want to use a tweezer, if you're scared to use a tweezer, just use your fingers and simply just squeeze them together. So that way your lash is on nice and tight and it's not going anywhere. After the glue completely dries and it's getting like kind of clear, I forgot to mention the glue that I use is Duo glue. I use the white one. There are so many glues out there, but for me, I love Duo. It always works for me. My lashes never fall off, so I just personally, I like the white glue that goes clear. Some people like the dark. It's really just like a preference thing, but you can get Duo glue at your drugstore and they usually always have Duo everywhere you go. So this is not hard to find and this is what I use. So now I'm going to do the same routine to my, okay, so the last steps that you would want to do when you're applying false lashes is to just make sure the liner that you applied before you applied your lashes is still very black, because the Duo glue that I use is a clear adhesive. Sometimes it still does leave a little bit of residue, so I always like to make sure I go back and I reapply my eyeliner in the same spots, and after I do that I apply my mascara. And then of course you want to do your bottom lashes, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply some mascara. And the mascara that I'm using is BH Cosmetics Lash Bliss Mascara. So this is how you apply false lashes. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you actually learned something, because that was the whole point of the video. I hope that at least one of my little tips will help you when you apply your false lashes next time, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.